is meant to come out and take it away, but it doesn't, because you've always had high levels of insulin and your body becomes resistant to it. And this is how you get type 2 diabetes. You become resistant to the insulin. Okay, so testosterone's gone down. When testosterone goes down, estrogen goes up. Now we're going to talk about estrogen a little bit in a minute, but estrogen is a hormone that actually helps us to store fat. Okay, so it can help us to store fat. When we have high levels of estrogen, coupled with the decreased testosterone, we have reduced human growth hormone. Now, human growth hormone is really involved with repair, okay, and regeneration. Okay, so once we've finished training, it's very important that we have human growth hormone, okay, and testosterone to aid repair and speed up metabolism, okay, to get your full benefits from training. Now, unfortunately, a result of all of those, the interrelationship between those hormones results in high levels of leptin. Now, that's okay, because leptin is the hormone that tells us that we're full. Okay, but unfortunately, high levels of leptin happens. You get resistance from high levels of leptin in the same way as you do insulin. Okay, so high levels of leptin constantly will actually result in the resistance, and it won't actually work. So then you constantly feel hungry. Okay, so all that said and done, the bottom line, what happens last of all is now your hormones are in a world of pain. Okay, your thyroid will be suppressed. Okay, now an unhappy thyroid is not good for you. Okay, thyroid is, we're going to get to it now, is what really controls your metabolism at rest. Okay, and it relates to all the rest of the hormones. So 40% of overweight people have a thyroid dysfunction. Okay, that's one of the latest research findings that I found when I was researching this. Okay, the thyroid, as I said earlier, regulates metabolism at rest. It regulates other hormones. Okay, so if you want a healthy thyroid, okay, I suggest you start eating clean whole foods to remove toxins, so help out those other hormones. Take regular exercise to help with the regulation of the sex hormones, okay, testosterone, estrogen, human growth hormone, okay, and reduce intake of sugar, okay, and that will have a net effect of reducing stress and cortisol levels. Okay, so here's the hormone relationship I was talking about earlier. Okay, so blood sugar levels go up, cortisol goes up, okay, insulin then goes up, and as a result, testosterone goes down, okay, estrogen goes up because of that, all right, and human growth hormone goes down. So you're all of a sudden you've lost these three, which are really key in terms of driving up the metabolism, and where have we gone? Okay, driving up the metabolism, and these here, stress hormone, fat storage hormone, insulin, estrogen helps to store fat, and the leptin, which is the sort of the hormone that helps you to feel full. All of a sudden, you've got too much of that in your blood, and you become resistant to it. So then you never feel full. And all net effect, the thyroid has now had a. Oh, that shouldn't be there. Let's cross that one out. Thyroid's at the bottom. Number 8. Okay, so the thyroid has been suppressed. Okay, that's how the hormones are related. Okay, so a happy thyroid will mean a happier you. And now thyroxine is one of those thyroid drugs that's been prescribed to enhance oxygen in the blood. So anybody on that, okay, will be encouraged to eat alkalizing foods, okay, because acidic foods don't help the blood to utilize oxygen, okay, and obviously would damage the effects of that drug there, which is designed to do what your thyroid should be doing itself, okay, and that is to drive up the metabolism and keep you in a happy place. So reduce sugar. Okay, so in the Hot to Trot nutritional plan, you will notice that I've given you a list of alkaline and a list of acidic foods. Okay, so estrogen and fat storage, I mentioned it earlier. So squidgy plastics, so water bottles, and commercially farmed chicken breasts, you'll find that they actually inject estrogen into the chicken breast to help metabolize the estrogen, to help tenderize the meat. Okay, so that when you eat it, it actually looks big, but it also is not stringy. Okay, so they're trying to help tenderize it because it's probably been in that packet for a little while. So the chemically produced estrogens are known as xenoestrogens. Okay, they're not natural. So they actually enhance the body's ability to store fat. So specific sites for men tend to be the waist, okay, and also the chest. For women, it tends to be back of the arms, on the hips, and just sort of on that love handle area. Okay. Around the glutes. Okay, so how can you deal with this? Well, sometimes these things slip into our nutrition. We don't even know about them. Okay, so ideally you'd be choosing from sort of whole, clean, natural sources and organic where possible. although there is some controversy around organic. Indole-3 carbinol, okay, is a chemical that is found in cruciferous vegetables. Things like cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, curly kale, those kind of things, and that actually helps to metabolize estrogen. So it's awesome when it comes to reducing body fat, particularly around the midriff. Then you have a chemical called quercetin, okay, which is a flavonoid, an antioxidant, that gives vegetables and fruit their colour. Okay, so things like red apples, red grapes, absolutely amazing in terms of reducing stress and helping to clean out the body. Okay, citrus fruits such as grapefruits, lemons, limes will help to clean the liver as well. Okay, the greater omentum. Now, great picture of that guy, looking absolutely in great shape. Okay, but the cortisol, seriously, the cortisol sponge. Okay, the greater omentum. Okay, so here it is. So we have this layer of body fat, okay, or layer of adipose tissue that lies across the top. It's sort of linked here from the bottom of the stomach, okay, and it actually attaches to the lower part of the intestines here. Okay, now this is connected to the liver by the portal vein. Okay, the portal vein. So as soon as we bombard our body with chemicals, toxins, alcohol, those kind of things, it goes straight there because it's stressful to the body. This is where these have lots of cortisol receptors all over here. So as soon as you eat sugary things, cortisol goes up. Remember I said that happens when blood sugar has gone up. So all over this here is a receptor, okay, cortisol receptor that picks up the sugar. Okay, so all over that goes your cortisol. Okay, and fat is stored there. Okay, that's why guys look like they've got pot bellies, look like they've got beer bellies. That's why they get it. Okay, because of that. All right. So although the body fat that's lying underneath the skin doesn't look great, okay, it's much more dangerous to have body fat here. And those guys will be they'll have like hard bellies, okay, because they've got lots and lots of fat stored right there deep, okay, underneath. So it's not the sort of squidgy fat that's on top. It's this deep fat. It tends to cause that bulge. Okay, so it actually becomes a great place for fat storage. But we generally don't store fat. But like I said, because of the cortisol receptors, all the sugar heads there, an over-fat omentum then feeds on insulin, okay, leading to resistance against insulin because we have high levels of insulin. The body eventually doesn't, the receptors obviously then start becoming resistant to it and insensitive, which is the main cause of type 2 diabetes, is high insulin levels, okay, because then as it becomes insensitive to it, insulin levels drop off, but glucose is still high, so we've got no way of getting it out of the blood. Okay, so exercise directly helps you here, okay, making your body more ready to accept glucose from the blood because you're going to use the glucose that's in the muscles. So therefore, the working muscles need more nutrition, okay, more quick nutrition because you're doing short bursts of activity that demand lots of energy. So it makes your body much better at accepting the glucose as a fuel. Okay, so the liver, if you overstress the liver, as we would have done if we'd end up with the greater omentum like that guy we saw in the picture, then you will not be very good at utilising fat as a fuel. Okay, so the known stressors, probably know most of these already, but caffeine, processed foods, alcohol, sugar, and some dairy products, and wheat. Okay, I forgot to mention there, wheat products. Now, actually, in fairness to wheat, yes, most of us are intolerant to wheat, but it tends to be, I think, mostly to do with the fact that most wheat products tend to be combined with other things. So you have to reintroduce wheat products in a specific way so that you can find out exactly which wheat products you're actually intolerant to. But generally, you'll find you probably are. Okay, a toxified liver, it results in a slower metabolism. Okay, so here's my top 5 supplements now with my clients and my fitness camp clients, online mentorship clients. I always say to them, if you can get these here, you're well on the way to creating a body or an environment for your body to optimize fat loss, optimize health. Okay, these are my top 5. If you can't afford all 5 at one go, I'd say it's hard to pick, but maybe go magnesium, zinc, fish oils. Okay, in that order. Then Tulsi tea and milk thistle's great as well. But to be honest with you, it's hard to say which ones you should choose over others. But if you can get them all in, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So We'll go through some of those in a little more detail, but Tulsi tea at the bottom there, okay, had some great results using this. It has 0 caffeine in it, and it is very effective at reducing cortisol levels. So I tend to encourage my clients to drink this late at night, okay, or sort of later in the afternoon if possible. Okay, so reposition. Okay, so is your fruit making you fatter? Okay, so going back now to the insulin. Okay, so sugary foods, fruit. Okay, now unfortunately our body can't differentiate between fruit and Haribo. Okay, although yes, a red apple is much better for us than Haribo. Unfortunately, our body just says, right, that's glucose. I need to do something with that. Insulin surges because it wants to get it out of the blood, so it takes it out of the blood. But then we have inflammation because of the stress caused on the body due to the high levels of sugar and insulin. And inflammation, then net effect of that, the stress hormone cortisol is released. Okay, when the cortisol, because that's our fight or flight hormone really, as soon as we're involved with it, as soon as we get cortisol, it thinks, right, okay, better get cracking, need to get moving so blood sugar levels go. So you've got this vicious circle. Okay, vicious circle here. And also, to be honest with you, normal, like interesting to note here in the middle, normal looking people can actually have blood sugar management issues as well. So they don't even have to look fat to have these blood sugar management issues, okay? Right, insulin and fat loss. So high blood sugar levels, insulin is produced, more IG6 production, which is this inflammatory molecule that I've been talking about, more cortisol as a result of that because we're stressed, more sugar release because we're stressed and our body thinks we need more. That then results in increased estrogen in men and increased testosterone in women, linked to infertility. Okay. As a result of that, we have decreased liver function, okay, and its ability to metabolize fat and detoxify because we've overstressed the liver with all this here going on previously. Okay, now increased leptin, as I said earlier, results in resistance in the same way as it had happened to insulin. Too much of it, okay, insulin is good at certain levels, okay, insulin is good because it helps bring sugar levels down. Too much leptin, which is telling us that we're full, okay, too much of that hormone, okay, and we become resistant to it and we never feel full. Okay, so we have to be really careful that we just get this balance right on our blood sugar levels. So how to build healthy blood? Okay, so you need to alkalize to create healthy blood. Okay, so reduce acidity. So people who have lead an acidic lifestyle or have an acidic nutritional intake will tend to find they have aching joints, poor skin quality. Okay, get very breathless quite quickly. All of those sorts of things. So I would always encourage my clients, okay, to go herbal teas because they're alkaline. Drink filtered water where possible, okay, because to reduce the fluoride, because tap water's got fluoride in it, which actually suppresses your thyroid. Okay, more vegetables than fruit. Okay, and try to follow 80-20 rule. So 80% of your foods are alkaline, 20% acidic. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there are plenty of acidic foods that are fully compliant, but you need to be thinking about the combinations. Okay. So nutrition pre and post training, get loads of questions on this. So it does really differ from everyone, training styles and goals as well. But generally, pre-training, an hour and a half, an hour before training, a small amount of carbohydrates and protein combined. Okay, so eggs and oats are great, or fats and protein. So some sort of maybe fit like salmon and avocado or salmon and olives are great for lunch. Okay, but I would always try, if you can, to not combine carbohydrates and fats because they're digested in very different ways. A little bit outside the scope of this presentation, but that's just a small tip there for you. So things like having brown rice with a load of nuts, okay, is probably not the best combination. Okay, the more optimal combination is to provide protein, okay, which comes in various forms, okay, with your carbohydrates, which also comes in various forms. Things like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potato, those buckwheat, those kind of things. Okay, post training. Quick release sugars after training, okay, so to get the muscle glycogen stores back up again, because what we want to do is we want to create a situation in the body where it's burning that energy after we finish training, but what we don't want to do is it to start eating away at our muscle. Okay, so last thing we want to do is, like I say, end up with what we call a catabolic state where the body actually starts eating itself. Okay, so then protein, within an hour. Eggs quite good again because it's relatively quick to digest in the digestive tract. We have slow release or low glycemic